Hello everyone, it's Stephen Gaither, HBCU Game Day, and we are checking the resume of South Carolina State as a MEAC contender. Those guys were ranked 5th in our FCS Power Rankings on our website. You can check that out at hbcugameday.com if you haven't already. And so they're ranked 5th going into week 10 of the HBCU college football season. And so we'll just give a little bit of the reasoning behind that and see what we think of those guys as they go forward. So they're 5-3, 3-1 in the MEAC, and they're one of several teams in the MEAC with one loss. And so they are definitely in the running. And the reason that we rank those guys 5th is because basically they haven't been very consistent on offense or at times on defense either. Now they do have wins against two of the favorites in the MEAC race, and that's Bethune-Cookman and North Carolina A&T. So a lot of people are wondering as to why they're ranked as low. And again, that is the consistency factor. Those guys, they started out the season with the win against Benedict, D2 team that they were expected to win, and then they lost against Clemson in a game that they were expected to lose. So no surprises there, but they went up against a Coastal Carolina team and only scored 3 points against those guys in a loss. And then they came back and beat Furman the next week, another FCS team, which is always good to have an out-of-conference FCS win on your on your resume. So that was a cap in their feather. But then they came and opened up the MEAC play against Hampton, and they ended up winning the game, but they had to win it in overtime. And if you've seen Hampton or know anything about Hampton, they're in rebuilding mode, so it's not like they were playing the Hampton teams of old, so that was kind of a red flag. Next week, they come into North Carolina A&T, the Atlanta Classic, and they pulled off the upset, 13-0. They won, but the thing about that was there was no Quashon Quick for North Carolina A&T, so you have to wonder if they play those guys at full strength again, would they beat them? Having seen North Carolina A&T play a couple of times, I'd say they wouldn't, but, a win is a win. So they got that win in their cap. But then the next week they came back and they lost to North Carolina Central, a team that wasn't as highly regarded in the MEAC, and they lost pretty soundly. So, you're starting to see again that consistency thing. And then they've of course rebounded with a big win against against Bethune-Cookman. So those guys are starting to feel good about themselves and in the race. But the concern for me for those guys going forward is going to be their offense. They're only scoring 16 points a game if you take away that Benedict win. And so, that may be enough for those guys to win the MEAC. But if they get to the FCS playoffs, they're going to have to score more points than that. And I'm just not sure that they can do that. Looking at their prospects for the MEAC, they've got 4 other games. 2 of them are very winnable. And that is Savannah State and FAMU, but their last 2 games are going to be interesting. They're going to play against Morgan State, which is having a great year in the MEAC, and also Norfolk State, another good defensive team. So those games are going to be crucial. It's going to be fun to watch that race as it goes down the stretch. South Carolina State can definitely still win the MEAC. I don't think that they're the most dynamic team in the MEAC. And, but time will tell as to whether or not they can get to the playoffs, because as we've seen in the past, anything can happen. So that is it for today. Make sure that you like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and leave your comments at the end of this video. Thanks for watching and reading, and you guys have a good one.